Hi, Degenerate here, and welcome back to my based opinions. Now, can someone tell me what the fuck was I smoking in fall? Cause I didn't make this list. Better. So let's start the winter list with animes that started the last season and ended this one. Undead Unluck. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was definitely something. Like the animation and the cinematography shine throughout the whole show, but the manga is just better. One huge thing that I just found extremely annoying were the long ass recaps every episode, and sometimes even the backstories got a little irritating. But overall, it was insane mindfuck, and the second half that was about the actual Undead Unluck manga recreated in the anime. So basically, it was manga in an anime that was within the manga about the manga. What am I even saying? Where am I even putting this? Apothecary Diaries. Yep, nothing changed. Still insane. Actually, it got even better. The absolute highest S tier. I even considered putting it in God tier. Unfortunately, that still only belongs to Sousou no Frieren. For now. Shangri-La Frontier, just thanks to the fight with Waterman, opened my eyes on how great the animation is, and the story is good as well. As I said, I am a gamer, and watching this amazing MMORPG that is not filled with ads, in-game stores, seasonal pass and bugs, but with passionate players making the game what it is, I fucking wish this was the future of gaming. I pretty much already said enough about this anime in one of my videos, but basically the animation is outstanding with really nice fight scenes. The dynamics between the main characters is funny and feels real. The story of the game that is slowly uncovering makes my gamer heart shiver, and from what the first season brought us, I cannot wait for the next season and how well they will execute this panel. Also, the second ending is done by Riona, so Shangri-La stays in S tier. Next is Sousou no Frieren, and I'm pretty sure if you saw some of my previous videos in the last 6 months, you're probably already tired of me glazing over Sousou no Frieren. What I want to say is, it's really funny to see people complaining about the really slow pacing and how it lacks some action, and then watching the same people react to the whole mage exam arc that is filled with just action. You wanted action? You fucking got it. Best anime of all time. At least for me. And lastly is Ragna Crimson. So it didn't change my opinion at all. I still find the main character Ragna really annoying and really inconsistent, especially at the end where his power level was for no specific reason, without any training, extremely OP and no longer having any problems with the link of his future self, and Crimson still took the light of the best character of the series. I kinda like the whole last arc and the final battles there. For multiple fights happening at once, the pacing really wasn't that bad, and the boldness of this story, Jesus fucking Christ, so many characters died. But all of that is only the last couple of episodes. Before that, the single fights with just one high-ranked dragon was pure shitfest full of yapping, especially the fights against Zora and Tatarka. I am sorry, but cutting in the middle of fight to Zora yapfest about his next move and hatred towards humans was unbelievably annoying, and one of the reasons I almost dropped this anime. The story was pretty straightforward and not bad, but I feel like it ended way too quickly. As I said, Ragna's power for no reason spiked just with a flick of a finger, and it felt really rushed with no explicit reasoning. I think all of that would feel way better if they just got rid of the yap fest and added one more arc between the end of Silverline Princess and the attack of the Monarch. So with that, it goes to C tier. And that would be it for the fall season's animes. And now, the winter season. Well, let's just go straight to solo leveling. It's the only reason why I'm here anyway. So first, I need to make something clear. I've only read the manhwa of solo leveling and never touched the original light novel. And even though the anime was advertised as adaptation of the manhwa, there is definitely a possibility that the studio can take some things from the light novel and maybe change the pacing a little bit. But because I never read it, I really can't tell if the changes in the anime are original or adaptation of the light novel. Now, why am I so fixated on it being adaptation of any of these? Because I'm always trying to distinguish the anime from its source and rank it as its own thing. You see, the problem here is that solo leveling, it's really not that great. It's pretty mediocre power fantasy, and the only thing making it so good and so memorable was the amazing art that was released weekly and using the art as part of the storytelling. And now there's this anime. Sure, it has really good animation and all, but does it do anything when you have very predictable and cliche story? No, at least not for me. And my biggest problem with solo leveling were actually the changes from the manhwa. The biggest example being the very beginning of solo leveling that shows us Jeju Island. As part of storytelling goes, I personally don't like it when they show you the turning point of the story at the beginning of the show. Sure, they are trying to establish where the story is heading, but there was a reason why Jeju Island was always only mentioned, because it was the biggest disaster in human history. And when we finally get to Jeju Island arc in the manhwa, you can really feel the spike in difficulty and see the terror that it brings. I have a lot more to say about this, but I will be here for hours and I don't want that. So I guess that's another separate long ass video I have to work on. Cool. Another thing I don't like the changes of are characters' introductions. We got to see S-rank hunters way too early and they don't really seem that powerful. They're supposed to be the best of the best, the strongest people people in the world, but then you see them doing normal daily life activities with slightly more power, and it doesn't really help understanding the power level of characters. Every hunter is ranked from E to S, but when you first see E rank hunter and then let's say C rank hunter next to each other, you don't really know the differences between them in power. You just know that C rank should be more powerful, but how exactly? And then you get to see S rank hunters doing the same shit as C rank hunter, again with slightly more power, and I don't really see the difference in power between them again. But S rank hunters should be so strong that they can easily destroy a whole city. The first time we get to see S rank hunters in manhwa, you can feel the huge gap between Sunk and them. You can pretty much say that these guys will fucking kill you if they could, even if you are Sunk, and that's something that the anime just didn't do because they just introduced them in a total different way. Again, I hope that I summarized this pretty well, what I'm trying to say here. I have a lot more to say, but again, I will leave it to the separate video. But now, to make it sound less like I hate solo leveling, let's briefly talk about other stuff, like animation, voice acting, and the soundtrack absolutely breathtaking, especially the animation that feels very smooth with a lot of small details, amazing stuff. And episode 11 was the best example. So that episode 11 was just bliss. This episode was literal peak of this anime. They nailed absolutely everything. The camera angles, the voice acting, the soundtrack, the sound effects, the animation, the pacing. There were some things that just didn't feel right for me, but again, that's just thanks to the amazing art of the manhwa that plays with the storytelling using the art itself. And again, I'm going back to the negative, and I'm pretty sure you are already so tired of my yapping. So on some funny note, in episode 6 there is this sick fight where Sunk is against these 6 dudes. When he kills one of the dudes, he drops a crossbow on the ground. Now listen carefully to the sound. Does it sound familiar? It should, because it's the same sound used when you drop a weapon in CS. So my conclusion to solo leveling anime is A tier. It is still an amazing anime, and it works as its own separate thing for people who haven't read the manhwa. But for those who read it, there really isn't a reason to watch this when the manhwa has done a way better job, has insane illustration and amazing storytelling through art that, yeah, gets also pretty repetitive. Next is Mashle. I really liked the first season and find it very funny how this guy with no magic in a world that is basically racist towards no magic users absolutely obliterates anyone who is in his way. But the jokes in second season started to really annoy me. Some of the jokes lands, but some are starting to get irritating. I get it that it's parody and all, but they're just overdoing it with the humor. Again, going back to like Halleck and One Punch Man, knowing exactly how much jokes they can use and have healthy balance between comedy and seriousness, which in Mashle's case, they're just throwing one joke after another, then transitioning into some serious scene, and it just doesn't hit, man. It's just overwhelmed by the amount of humor being thrown around without any thoughts. Another thing that I should have already mentioned with the first season is, so how much exactly can these characters withstand? Like, no, like, seriously, just fucking JoJo again. These guys can literally be pierced by 20 swords and still beat the shit out of the bad guy and survive on top of it all. I've read the manhwa, so I know that some characters will die at the end. Actually not, but can they at least feel a little bit more like human beings?
Yes, I am.
Is this a motherfucking JoJo reference? Now it all makes way more sense why everyone is invincible, and also it would explain why this feels like I'm watching the end of Diamonds Are Unbreakable, with the amount of shit they see happening in Universal Speed. And episode 7 is the best example of what I mean. So Mashle here blocks the attack, but he isn't smashed into the wall. So what happened? Well, basically he started running backwards, faster than the projectile, and somehow someone fucking saw it to give us exposition. Or how Macaron created the cushion for his landing, again, was seen by someone with a fucking Sharingan. Just a lot of stuff happening really fast that no one should be able to see. I know this was also in the first season, but here it's starting to be really annoying. Now one last thing, judge me, I don't care, but I saw the comments. So many people love the opening and claim it to be the best opening song ever, but do not expect this song at all as a winner in my Winter Anime Awards. I'm by the way doing at the end of these videos. I never liked rap, and I'm pretty confident saying it's my least favorite genre, and this opening song I just couldn't stand it. I'm sorry, throw rocks at me, I don't give a shit. This song was just horrendous and was purely made for TikTok. And if anyone is curious of what type of music I do like, so that you can have actual reason to hate me for this statement, well, too bad, because I'm just 2 steps ahead and no one could predict my impeccable bass taste in music. Because Foreground Eclipse was absolute unique masterpiece, and their last album, Stories That Last Through Sleepless Nights, is impeccable. It has the best transition in the beginning between Are You to Dear Are Getting sober since fucking Tool with 10,000 Days, the best farewell song from a band called Twinkle Dance, incomparable Touhou covers that are really hard to rearrange because its melody is so complex, and having my two most favorite songs of all time, Storytellers and From Undercover. So yeah, go fuck yourself. Go back to your Taylor Swift, you fucking peasants. B tier. Hokkaido girls are super adorable. Don't be fooled. This is not romance comedy. This is just huge advertisement for Hokkaido. And you know what? It worked. I bought a ticket. Twice. Everything here is a propaganda, from places to go, what you can do, food, and even int. Sure, you can choose between hot, big booba, blonde Fuyuki, quiet, nice, caring, probably yandere Natsukawa, or natural beauty, dark hair, gamer, lonely, cute blush, voiced by Yumeri Hanamori, so Sagiri from Hell's Paradise, or Hayasaka, this girl from Kaguya-sama, Angel Akino. But no matter the competition, I think we all know who is the winner here, and there is only one thing I can say. I like her mom. It's kinda sad how much they are pushing Fuyuki as love interest, and Akino doesn't even have a chance, and Natsukawa is totally non-existent. That's kinda the biggest difference between the manga and the anime, where there is still some kind of competition and no girl is the end goal, but in anime I just have to accept that Akino is second, like that never happened in romance anime. Anyways, B tier. Oh, and also the author of the manga, and now the studio behind this adaptation, are fucking liars! There is no blonde Gyaru waiting for me in Hokkaido! Dungeon Meshi is another banger manga everyone slaps on and got finally adapted, and it's amazing. Unfortunately, it's Netflix production, so the initial translation was so horrendous that watching the episodes right on release was just pain in the ass, and even AI could do better job at translating it. But that's so far the only issue I had. As an adaptation, it's really good, and the comedy is also really good.
なんでみんなそんな目で見るんだ。
動く鎧を食べるのはお前の悲願だったろ。
わしらが先に口にしてはな。
そうか。
死んだらあいつここに捨てていこう。
As you see, it doesn't have comedy level Marvel where every sentence is cringe one-liner, but small jokes between some friends that only hits when you listen. So basically, they roast each other. Get it? Roast? Cooking anime? So far, I'm gonna put it in A tier, and I will see where it will go the next season when it ends. 7th time loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. Basically, you can return in time at death. Is literally why Reliana ended up in the Duke's mansion, but ReZero. As wise man once said, romance are great. For the single people. And this romance villainous anime, not actually villainous, is great. Risha, who is reliving her life for the 7th time, is doing absolutely anything to her best, living to the fullest. But every time after 5 years, she gets involved in a war and dies by the hand of the same guy who started the whole war. Until her 7th ReZero, she meets with the guy that always kills her, which in her previous attempts, she never did met him. And now somehow kinda becomes his bride. And the prisoner. The romance is really good with really empathetic characters, but what makes this romance even better is how Risha never changes, never succumb to his parents, and don't start just fully simping for him, but stays true to herself. Same like Mahou, which is the reason why we all love her so much. A really great romance villainess, not actually villainous anime. A tier. The wrong way to use healing magic. Is this even worth my time? 3 main protagonists going home from school, teleportation, other world, so isekai. Welcome to this kingdom. Now please become our heroes and defeat the Demon King. No. Pretty please. Okay, and now they are the OP heroes in another world. It has everything you need in modern isekai. Teleportation, ball that tells you your power, demon lord, garbage story, retarded comedy, and OP characters. Well, actually, it's only the first episode. The rest just becomes abusive comedy with most useless main character that is the most legendary magic, which is healing magic. Nah, fuck this. It's really dumb anime, but there are some parts that are actually funny. And it isn't that bad. At least I'm having fun. And that's what matters, no? And with episode 9, what are it trying to achieve? Evoking some emotions in me? Man, fuck you, cause it's pretty sad. But this is definitely not what I expected in an anime that portrays itself as abusive comedy. Having this very sad moment that I think tries a little bit too much. After all, this isn't done much, and sure, it opened some story for those characters, especially for Rose, but it really didn't have that much of an impact. With that said, I wouldn't mind Rose dominating me. Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. It has some uniqueness into it. Like the first episode that had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. They first introduced the main character of the game. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that this is Otome Game Isekai. So first they introduced the main character from the game, and then we get to the actual character of the story. What was really interesting was the first episode. The first thing was the opening, where it felt like some kind of generic gacha game and just had this vibe of watching a game, not anime. And I was correct. The opening in this episode was just opening for the game, and it was supposed supposed to make you feel like you are basically playing a game, hence also the reason why we follow the story of the main character from that game. Now, I don't really mind this anime. It had better romance than actual romance animes, it had interesting premise, and I had fun watching this, including the amazing CGI. It was fun and relaxing anime to shut your brain off and enjoy it without much thinking. Me personally, I like the plot of it as well. We are still in the game, and even if she changed something or her actions affects the story of the game, the actions of the main character from the game will still be played automatically, so that the main objective of the game would be clear and they could progress forward. I did like this idea, but from what I've heard and read is that the web novel and light novel goes very differently, and also that the Alisa is doing this because the game wants it to progress it, so other way of saying the plot wants it, isn't actually there. Instead, it's apparently part of this more extended character development, and also the ending that we saw is totally different. The reasoning behind these changes is probably they didn't expect it ever having second season, so they gave the story pretty satisfying ending, which I don't really mind, and it made me want to read the light novel. And also, as I already said, I pretty much enjoyed it. So B tier. My instant death ability is overpowered. No, just no. This was so bad on many levels. I don't know what it is with isekais, but they are just, instead of being generic garbage with harem, they are now becoming self-aware parodies of isekai. This ain't fucking Konosuba, and this make it right. This anime is so fucking retarded. I feel like that the people I'm getting in solo queue that are after lobotomy are less retarded than this garbage. Nothing else to say than fucking annoying shit with the absolute worst pacing I've seen. And to make it even worse, they just decided to add these black bars, shits placed absolutely randomly throughout the whole episode. What the fuck is this? It censored shit. Why? So I guess corners are now in hentai category, but this scene is totally okay? Okay, in his defense, kinda pays to be this your last words before dying. Still, it goes to F tier though. The weakest tamer began a journey to pick up trash. This was absolutely hidden gem that was about anything but trash. The animation is insane. So obviously, I look at the studio and their background. Well, the studio is called Studio Mascot, and since 2017, they've just been assisting studio for really big titles like Attack on Titan, Licorice Recoil, Zom 100, Words M Harem, Uma Musume, Shangri-La Frontiers, Spy Family, and many more. And in 2020, they made their first anime about hot girls climbing?
Yeah, let me just do this.
But what surprised me the most is that this is the exact studio that produced the official video for the song Let You Down from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. How the fuck did we get here? This studio is correct, and I wish them nothing but luck in the future. Back to the anime. So basically, she's outcast from her village because she has no stars. You see, everyone in this world has some powers, and to be praised and have a future, you need to have high stats that are determined by the number of stars. Obviously, the weakest being 1, and the strongest being, I think it was 3. But Ivy have 0 stars. And because of that, her family just straight up abandoned her, and the whole village wants to kill her because they believe it's a curse. So now, being wanted person, she just travels to the capital where she was sent by a person that was really close to her despite her having no stars. And on this beautiful journey, she come across a rare slime that becomes her friend and easily the cutest thing this season. Okay, to be fair, the competition is really tough this season, and I'm not talking about the bear. Also, she becomes a boy, like, pretends to be a boy, so that it's not that easy to find her. What the fuck did you thought, huh? Insane hidden gem, and I'm glad I saw it. Cute, wholesome, relaxing, and emotional story with a soundtrack that fits this journey perfectly, with tear-dropping ending. You know what? I, Nitin, am declaring to protect Ivy and Sora at all costs, and do anything that is in my power to make them happy and kill anyone who just tries to hurt them. Obviously after I get jurisdiction from Lolly Protection Squad. Anyways, S tier. The strongest tank's Labyrinth Raids. A tank with a rare 9999 resistance skill got kit from the hero's party. You literally get the whole anime in the first episode. From hero to zero, saves girl, of course it's fucking Lolly, solves his problem, and goes home. That's it, GG, we can go home as well now. It was nice, right? But it ended. D tier. So, he's a lolicon and has a sister complex. That's a combo right from hell, and this is a Christian channel, so this changes to F tier. Ishura. Now, this part is gonna be really long because I had a lot to say about Ishura, but also I didn't know how to word it, how to create the sentence around all of this information. So basically, I did something else. So feel free to skip ahead to the rating because I'm gonna start the yap fest here. So first, studio. This really interesting background. They are doing the Spice and Wolf remake, but then they also did the last season Demon Lord third Sword Master of Excalibur Academy, which was shit. But then in 2021, they worked on Mirko-chan and on When They Cry remake. But then you see Rokanuyusha and High School DD, which was fucking abysmal. So I really didn't know what to think about this anime from the studio, because they can for sure release good hits, but also absolute shit. And what makes this even more confusing is that they also made the #1 anime in the Species reviewers. What the fuck is this resume? Anyways, the animation is absolutely insane. What the fuck? It seems they're also using a lot of CGI, and I don't really mind. It doesn't look bad, not even distracting, and to be honest, the anime looks great. So using the CGI for less work for the animators is plus in this one. Second are ideas. It is really interesting magic system, asking the wind to move objects, calling it word art. But it's not only the wind, there is way more, and there is actually one episode dedicated to this magic system, which is explained in great details, but I don't have time for that. And now the story. This story doesn't have main character. There's multiple characters, and all of them are side and main characters simultaneously. I love this idea. For many years, I have this story in mind. Like, everyone has some story in their minds that they want to tell. And mine is really complicated with having multiple characters as main characters. But no one is the main character, and it all goes down for the readers to pick their favorite character to make them the protagonist. That is a story that I want to tell. And now I am seeing this anime using this idea of having no protagonist, which is insanely unique because I have never seen it, not even in the movies yet. So because it doesn't have main character, the first few episodes focuses on different characters that are the main protagonists. They introduce them, they power up, and what makes them to participate in the tournament. The only flaw I saw was the pacing, but create a story around multiple characters with cohesive story is really hard. So I will give you that. But overall, it was amazing. And now, the brain damage, which are comments. So, this guy said, I tend to use reviews to give me a general idea of how good an anime is. It's lazy, but generally speaking, it's at least kind of accurate most of the time. Which I agree. Most of the animes I watch, I'm always interested what others are saying and their notes on the episodes. It's like reading a review of a product to know if it's good investment or absolute garbage. Of course, someone's opinion may change after reading just comments after episodes to see what others think and take their words as your own. But I guess this is for the first time I actually am getting discouraged to read the comments of people not understanding even the most simplest things that are explained literally in the first 20 seconds of the anime. For some reason, people not only are retarded and can't comprehend simple information given to them in 20 seconds to understand the fucking premise of the show, but also their brain is so rotten from generic shonen animes that anything that is so different, so unique, is automatically a bad thing. I really do like this idea of not having one specific hero, but rather multiple characters being their own hero of their own story, and it's just on the people who are watching this to pick their favorite. But for some reason, people from the very beginning were already hating on this anime just purely because of this unique storytelling. Instead of having the same generic black hair, ultra OP guy deluxe with harem of 5 big mommy milkers and at least one Nole, they can't get through this idea of not having an MC. Story that progresses not because of the plot or the characters doing stuff, but the world and the setting itself. It certainly has unique approach than any other isekai, even any anime ever. It's doing something unusual and people just don't seem to like it. This guy said it pretty well. All these commenters talking about plot coherency and not remembering or not caring for the characters whatsoever are either dumb, have Alzheimer's, or impatient. You can clearly see each episode is an introduction to various characters with different storylines. Just for your information, Jujutsu Shitsen has also no plot whatsoever, but people describe that shit like it's the New Testament of the Bible. That series only puts on event after an event that makes the characters do something which either results in a fight or in someone's dying. There is no story. Ishura, on the other hand, has established multiple characters with each their own ideals and goals or mindsets each episode to eventually let them all converge for the battle royale. The plot you all are asking for is already happening. It's a tension between the countries and the individuals trying to find their own gain and benefits from a conflict that will come. And the last comment I want to bring up summarizes this whole anime and the reason why people hate it so much. It's hard to defend or explain this show's format without sounding like the people criticizing it are dumb. Shows that break standard formats and formulas always bring out confusion and dislike from people with bad viewing habits, regardless of how good or bad the show is. The show doesn't seem to have an MC, so if you are trying to latch on one perspective to tell us what to think of everything, then you're only distracting yourself from the story that is there. And there is a story happening if you pay attention. This show is a tournament anime instead of just tournament arc. You're spending time at the beginning getting to know each characters before the tournament starts, so they don't have have to break up the action with flashbacks or monologues. This is not a character-driven story. It is a words-driven story. This show's story and plot is happening despite what any characters do. It is not happening because of or at the will of the characters, but rather is being pushed forward by the setting itself. The setting and plot is not about one character's rise to power and glory. It is about a sudden global power vacuum. A global power has just disappeared, and there is a mad scramble as the remaining powers figure out where they stand as the old alliance scramble and old and new rivalries emerge, and everyone reevaluates their priorities. This is what this setting is, and the plot is those world powers making moves accordingly. The show is episodic, with each episode focusing on someone new while still having a plot to move forward in the background. All character stories are subplots here, with each episode so far focusing on 2 or 3 characters. Just because a show doesn't follow the standard formula that allows people to switch their brain off or skip through the episode for the highlights or alt up into doing other things doesn't make it a bad show. Wanting to do that frankly just shows some people for being a bad viewers for not wanting to pay full attention. Ishura was insanely good anime with definitely the most unique ideas. Was that idea executed perfectly? No. There are flaws with the pacing and the overall flow of the anime, but that doesn't explain why people are so toxic towards this anime, because it did something unique and different. It's not the standard of generic shonen OPMC. I did enjoy it. It was nice to see basically my idea being made, and I would love to see more animes doing these bold moves. For the idea, characters, animation, politics, and more things creating this story, I would put it in S tier. But for the execution, I'm putting it in A tier. It was an exceptional anime that showed me that there are still so many unexplored ideas. Chained Soldier. So this was disappointment, and I will tell you why. But first, let me introduce you to someone. Censor. This fucking bitch, this venge called Censor, is insane. The story in Chained Soldier is not good. It's bad, and the only thing that made it entertaining was the edginess. But anime took that away and left us with just stupid and mediocre story, almost no edginess.
貸し出し？今日は人型周期との戦いに備えて私のスレーブ能力の貸し出しを試みたい。
Wait. She's 11! What the fuck you mean, letting your slave ability? Do you fucking remember? What is the payment for it? Hello! Yo! Oh, okay, never mind. The author has some boundaries. Good. Sure, there are some cheap booba shots, but comparing to the manga, it's literally baby story. The only thing I felt wasn't my Eiffel Tower, but the disappointment. C tier. Now going from Chained Soldier that at least knew its limits, to a little bit more unhinged anime, gushing over magical girls. I mean, I already have a reserved place in hell for the shit I have said in the COD lobbies in the golden era of online gaming. So fuck it, this is peak cinema. Let's go! What the fuck you mean? Best Picture of the Year, Oppenheimer. Who? Christopher Nolan? Who the fuck is that? Isn't that the second class tier guy under the absolute cinematic masterpiece gushing over magical girls? There's just nothing else to say than S tier. Now, I'm not gonna put it in God tier, that only belongs to Sousou Frieren. Even if I want it, I can't. I still have some morals. I'm not fucking a Redditor or Twitter blue hair lesbian freak, but I am still watching 14 years old getting sexually abused. Fuck you. Literally. Fuck you. Isekai Onsen Paradise. It is 4 minutes anime that 1/3 of it is just the opening. Why am I watching this? I have no fucking idea. Why does it have only 4 minutes? Again, I have no fucking idea. But the only thing I need to know is to take your clothes off and become naked. Or be gone! No story, but the plot is decent. S tier. The Way of Pawn is not a porn, but it's about cute girls doing cute things and playing mahjong. Basically, every episode is about these 5 busted anime girls playing mahjong at their hideout. And I thought that putting cute girls together with mahjong would ease my hatred towards mahjong, but nope, still hate it. Fucking Yakuza games. It had insanely amount of references from kaiji, which I didn't understand at all, because I've never seen kaiji. Fuck, I should actually watch it. As well as I believe a lot more references on other shows, but my brain just can't fucking function. Like, is this a fucking Robin? I don't know. It may be, it may not. What I know is that there were like 20 references already before this one, and our brain is just fried. Not only it has references on other shows, also the comedy was really fun. Like this interaction. Yep, comedy peak. Also, if the character design is familiar to you, well, it is, and you can thank the author of Quintessential Quintuplets for that, because he made the character design for this show and the manga as well. And lastly, there is episode 7. Now, thanks to the comments, and given the fact that this episode was Beach episode, we have scientific research, and these were the results. Last rating. Assumption. Number 5, Hanaru. Number 4, Izume. Number 3, Nashiko. Number 2 was Pai. And number 1 was Rishe. Congratulations, all participants, you were all great. Overall, for some unspecific reason, I really enjoyed my time. It was fun. Relaxing anime where I basically watched 24-minute long ad for online mahjong game. Sure, but it surprised me that I recognized the game from Joey's stream. B tier. The Witch and the Beast. I couldn't be more excited for this anime after watching the trailers. It looked absolutely insane, and it fucking delivered. This is for the first time I actually did not check the manga of an anime that interests me, but I'm pretty sure from what I've read, the manga has some insane panels and the anime was pretty faithful. Now, I may be wrong, but the animation and fights were actually cracked. But there was one small thing that I just couldn't get over, and it was the pacing of the backstories and the so little information about anything. Like, we got only the bare minimum about her, him, the witches, and the organization. But I guess that's part of the story, and probably within the second season it would all make sense. I don't know, but still, the pacing of the backstories, yeah, A tier. Sengoku Yoku is the reason why we are getting ReZero third season in late 2024. And you know what? I don't mind. It was for sure a predictable story with weird supernatural, but with great animation and fights. And episode 7. I can't. Why is everything happening in episode 7? Watching this episode was pain. Yeah, the death flanks were absolutely everywhere, but still, man, it was executed so well. It was so emotional. I was just sitting there and it was full focused. Goosebumps everywhere. Just insane pacing and the aftermath, how the MC goes from cheerful, goofy, useless guy to gloomy, broken guy full of regrets. Perfect. I liked it a lot. A tier. This time for Torture Princess. The royal princess, commander of the Imperial Third Legion, who is captured by Demon Lord forces, is now imprisoned and horribly tortured by eating insanely delicious food. I thought that the princess is supposed to be tortured, not me. I am tortured by this anime. I was supposed to look at these delicious foods knowing damn well I am not able to eat any of these. Well, she's not just tortured by food, but just with any activity there is. Playing video games, go to amusement parks, camping, and many more. Coming up with something new every day to get princess to confess. Which isn't that hard actually. Unless it's Sunday. Obviously you can't just torture someone the whole week. You need to give them proper break. But as you may guess, these unhuman torture tactics are pretty effective, and the royal princess, commander of the Imperial Third Legion, will always confess. Then the knowledge taken to Demon Lord, and probably it being denied because it was useless information like the size of King's boots, or maybe the information was the day where the guards are the weakest. But unfortunately it's on Wednesday and that's no good. There is a scram school on Mondays, but on Mondays there are playing good animes, and this is basically the whole anime over and over again. That's the whole comedy, and if you are expecting something else, then I guess this isn't for you. This is just wholesome, long, fun gag, nothing else. Yeah, the more I watch this anime, the more I realized how repetitive it is, to the point when watching an episode I just hear vast talking about insanity, but that's exactly what I liked about the manga. It didn't have any meaning, it was just pure fun. And one last thing, I refuse to believe these are demons. These are angels from a parallel universe. They have ethics, proper working conditions, paid day offs. It's just perfect place to live in. Fuck the humans. I wanna live here. A tier. Sasaki and Peep-chan is an interesting and funny isekai with protagonist that is just living his life and raising up every underage girl and traveling to his private world. Wait a minute. Is this Epstein reference? So, his sparrow pet turns out to be Mage from a different world, and for some reason has the ability to teleport between the worlds. And so, this absolute average office worker gets to ease his life in his normal world with never having to use public transport ever again, and making money in the magical world by selling them stuff he definitely shouldn't have. And when everything is going so well, he gets involved in secret agency that quickly puts Sasaki to dangerous missions of capturing gifted criminals in his world. And when he tries to escape from that to the magical world, he gets involved in the political affairs and big war between nations. It wasn't really that bad, and at least it's a bit more entertaining than watching yet another overpowered Kirito number 147 with big harem. And the comedy was sometimes even funny. If you like isekais, you would find this interesting, and if you don't, it's pretty average story. B tier. Fluffy Paradise. Welcome to a new and unique world of isekai you have never seen before. Welcome to Isekai World number 30. This wasn't really something I found interesting and I kinda had problems even finishing it, which is not an indication of it being bad, but rather me not caring about it. Something that I found really odd was how brutal this was. It has way darker background, but that's never really developed, and it goes back to cuteness and then it goes to a fucking dying spider with blood everywhere. It just doesn't go together, and what surprised me the most is that there's a fucking Ishura that literally censored blood. What am I witnessing? I don't know what to think. It was really cute and relaxing, but also very political with very serious topics that just weren't much developed. Everything was practically resolved without any casualties, and if there were any, it was overpowered by humor and cuteness. I'm not saying it should have been more brutal or anything, I just wish it would focus more on the serious decisions and their outcomes. So I guess this one goes to C tier. Dr. Elise. Yep, I'm never stepping on a plane, ever. Elise that was tyrant and led her life full of bad decisions got executed by her lover, which she then isekai'd into Japan and tried to lead her life to fullest with learning medicine and save as much people as possible to atone her sins from her previous life. But that didn't end well when she died again in a plane crash. But when she woke up, she was back again in Elise's body. Now with medical expertise, she tries to change her future by mostly changing herself, not being the tyrant she was, just atone for her past mistakes again, and most importantly, again save as many people as possible with her medical knowledge. Somewhere in the previous anime seasons, I mentioned an anime that was kinda influenced by the French Revolution Marie Antoinette and her life before execution, and I said it would be nice to see more influence from real life, and I think that this anime is inspired by the historical events of Florence Nightingale. Yes, she's known to be the mother of modern medicine for having pioneered modern nursing polar area diagram. She was also rewarded the Royal Red Cross, Lady of Grace of the Order of St. John, and Order of Merit for her many deeds. She's most famous for what she did in the Crimean War, where she managed to reduce the death rate of the wounded in military hospital from 42% to only 2%. And there are some signs of this in the anime, so huge plus for that. With that said, it's insanely unrealistic. It's insane how advanced the medical technology of the time is, especially the knowledge. They have scalpels and anesthetics, so that means their knowledge should be quite advanced already. But then there's the guy with broken ribs in a so-called hopeless ward, a ward where nobody ever bothers to clean. If their knowledge is so advanced that they have established surgical procedure, that must mean they should be aware of things like bacteria, viruses, and using disinfectants. Keeping a sick ward clean should be a no-brainer, but I guess that's beyond their knowledge. After all, it's an isekai in a medieval age type of world using fucking advanced modern age medical tools. It just looks funny how they basically know any illness, even fucking cancer and more shit that I've never heard about, but has no idea about hygiene. Something else that kinda didn't make sense was there's a scene with a young prince and his probably dying mother. The scene was never explained, but it sounds like it plays very important role in the whole affairs. The only reason why he doesn't speak with his brother, or why the people that follow his brother are so worried of him so much. It just looked like very important scene for the political side, but also looked like some major point for the prince. But it was just brushed off like, yeah, maybe next season XD. Anyways, here's a cool ending to this anime. It certainly was weird and I still can't get through the medical knowledge they have, but it was amazing romance anime in which the romance isn't just blindly thrown at you, but is slowly building up. And this made it more enjoyable, but not enough to make it above B tier. The Demon Prince of Momochi House. Girl that lost her parents inherited a house to just realize someone, more specifically 3 hot dudes, are already living there, claiming it is theirs, and that you should leave from your, not your, property. Oh, and there are some ghosts and yokais and stuff. The supernatural stuff was something, but this wasn't really my cup of tea. I believe if I was a woman, I would be wetter than underage girls on Epstein's Island, but I'm a man, and this was more cringe than hot. C tier. The Unwanted Undead Adventure. I don't know if I should laugh or cry. How the fuck is it possible that even a literal corpse has more risk than me? Chi, man. I mean, it was really good. Just your friendly neighbor Undead being a nice guy. I didn't have any problems with this anime until the last episode where the story got really generic. Like, oh, the MC's family died, and this guy who is this big adventurer encourages our MC not to kill himself and also become an adventurer like his dead friend wanted to be. I'm not saying it wasn't emotional, but I was kinda hoping for a different explanation and his background, that's all. There is really nothing much to say, it was just pretty much an anime about doing side quests, and as I said, it was pretty fun and enjoyable, and the CGI wasn't that bad, so B tier. The Tales of Wedding Rings. It all began with the forging of the Great Rings. The Ring of Wind was given to elves. humans, probably mortal, shut in and dumbest of all beings. The Earth Ring was given to dwarves, probably good craftsmen, but now everyone is dead. The Ring of Water was given to, I don't know, fucking dragons. The Ring of Fire was given to cat people, most fearless and strongest warriors. And last, the Ring of Light was given to the race of man. 5 rings and only one rod to rule them all. So yes, breeding will be daily! The plot is really dumb, but the plot is absolutely masterpiece. But I have just one thing to say. Why the fuck is the MC yelling so much? It's so annoying! Shut up! Shut up! Purple. The foolish angel dances with the devil. It was finally time to get some retarded romance after so many good ones. And thank God, I think this is the one. I knew from the very beginning that this is gonna be shit that I'm gonna enjoy. And I don't know if I did, but shit it was. Really good shit. I've seen complaints about comedy being used too much and mindlessly, but this anime just took the scale, set it on max, and threw it out of the window. Fuck it. We don't need it. Everything is gonna be over-exaggerated. You will smile. Now, imagine Kaguya-sama Love is War, but with actual progress. Okay, now script the idea and threw it out of the window as well. I don't know what, but something just changed after watching 100 Girlfriends. This just isn't good. But at the same time, I guess thanks to brain damage, I loved every second of it. It may as well be because I watch it sped up, which I'm just gonna say, it's way better experience. And you know what? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Fuck this whole review. Threw it out of the window and just fucking put it in A tier. Buchigiri. So basically, it's better Tokyo Revengers, but with significantly worse main character. Like, unironically, he's the worst MC I have ever seen. He just wants to punch him every time you see him on screen. It's fucking insane how annoying and retarded he is. And he just won't stop thinking with his dick. It was driving me crazy how this incel will do anything for this girl. And don't even get me started on his relationship with his childhood friend. One fucking singular conversation would end this whole anime. I just can't believe it that someone was actually able to do worse character than Kazuya. This author needs to get a prize or some shit. And yes, I know that in the second half he becomes way less annoying because it's no longer focused on him, but it all transferred to his childhood friend Matakara, who I thought was more entertaining and better MC with charisma. But as MC just went doing absolutely nothing, this guy just started fighting everyone with stupid reasons. Actually, everyone had insanely stupid reasons to fight that didn't make any sense. It was just irritating. Yes, it was explained at the end, and you can also argue that that is in our nature. Man, me fight unga bunga. But holy shit, I don't care if you make absolutely irritating characters. Kill yourself. In game, of course. It definitely had some potential. It could have been better comedic Tokyo Revengers with Will Smith, but instead it was annoying shit. I just did not like it, and that's why it's going to C tier. And that would be it for the winter tier list. Okay, there are 3 animes left, but honestly, do you even fucking care about these? I will leave this imposters to spring tier list. I'm already so behind of schedule. It's June already. What the fuck? Winter season ended up in April, Jesus. So yeah, if you care about them, just wait another half a year for spring tier list, where I will list them. But now is the time for the segment that no one was waiting for. My seasonal awards. And the first award is gonna be the best opening of winter 2024. Now, not that many opening songs speak to me this season, and the only song that I can think of were from Ishura and The Witch and the Beast. That's it. So the winner of the best opening of 2024 is Soko ni Naru So Monka from The Witch and the Beast. Congratulations. Please, spring season be better. The next award is the best ending of winter 2024. What? Ending? No one fucking watches these. Yeah, me neither, but somehow they made endings way better than openings. And so the winner for the best ending is Krage, Request from Solo Leveling. I fucking love that one. Okay, and now for the most prestigious award, the best girl of winter 2024. And holy, this roster was stacked. Lemon, Haincha, Marcela, Nashiko, Akino, and Gido. There are a lot of godly candidates this season, but there can be only one winner. And does this award even matter when Chain Soldier exists and Ren Yamashiro? I don't have to be her slave. I must be her slave. Do whatever the fuck you want with me. If you're interested, I love it raw. Only raw! I'm all yours! What the fuck did Fujimoto do to me? And now for the last award, the best anime of winter 2024. And these are the nominees: Ishura, The Witch and the Beast, Gushing Over Magical Girls, and The Dungeon Meshi. And the winner for the best anime of winter 2024 is Gushing Over Magical Girls. Why the fuck was this anime so good? What timeline am I living in that I'm actually putting Gushing Over Magical Girls as the best anime that season? I am not gonna elaborate any further. Goodbye.